Get in, gang. Get in, gang. Me and gang, get in. Yeah. We outside. Go Chiefs!
There are a lot of good things you can say about this current Chiefs dynasty. After all, you don't win 3 Super Bowls in less than 10 years by accident. And a lot of people, they love to point out the individual efforts of guys like head coach Andy Reid, quarterback Patrick Mahomes, or tight end Travis Kelce. And rightfully so, those guys have been incredible. Mahomes is on pace to be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Travis Kelce on pace to be one of the best tight ends ever. And Andy Reid is stamping his name in the history books as well. However, it's when they combine, when you merge these factors, that you can really see the best parts of the Chiefs team. And one thing that really stands out to me is their persistence. And that has really been on display this season. You see, the Chiefs, they began this year 0-2. And when you start a year with 2 straight losses, you have immediately dug yourself a little bit of a hole. Is it one that you can come back from? Absolutely. But that is not how you want to start off a year. Guys are coming in, they're fresh, they're energized, they're ready to start off the year. Then you kick it off with 2 losses? That can demoralize your team early if you don't have the right mindset. But now the Chiefs have rattled off 2 straight wins to make themselves 500 again. And that last win was against the Baltimore Ravens. That's some tough competition. And a win against Baltimore is not one that should be taken lightly. So for a team that started off the year losing 2 straight, now they look really good. Mahomes looked great this past game, and it feels like the Chiefs are building momentum once again. And that is what really stands out to me with this team. You see, this just reminds me of a few years ago, back in 2021, when they also began the year 2-2. And at that time, there were a lot of people saying, yeah, by this point, they had won 1 Super Bowl. But there were people saying after the start to the year that these talks of a dynasty, it was overblown. It wasn't going to happen because of the struggles early on in the year. But that season, the Chiefs, they wound up making the AFC Championship, and they lost that. But to even make it from that point, after people were down you early on, that's impressive. That shows a lot of grit. That shows a lot of determination to be able to turn things around. And now we're seeing something similar this season. So the persistence of this team really, really stands out to me. And I think that's so hard to do, especially for the position that the Chiefs are in. You see, ever since 2018, since Patrick Mahomes came on the scene and he was their starter, they have made the AFC Championship every single season. That takes a lot out of you. Because every single year, not only are you going through the regular season, you are going on lengthy runs in the playoffs, if not winning the Super Bowl. And yet, every single year since 2018, they've made it back to the AFC Championship. They always find a way. They go on deep runs, and the year after, they come back, and they look just as good as ever. No matter what doubts you might have about them, they find a way to win. There's a lot of teams, we have this term called the Super Bowl hangover. They make Super Bowl once, maybe they win, maybe they lose. But no matter what, that run takes a lot out of them. And all of a sudden, come next season, they look like a shell of their former selves. Sometimes that's due to injuries because of that lengthy run. Sometimes it's just due to poor play. Guys came in the season, they were unprepared because they had a shorter offseason. And yet the Chiefs, they find a way to avoid that every single season. And no matter, even if they start 2-2, that's the worst they've started in the Mahomes era. They always find a way. And I think that's so impressive, especially for the way that the Chiefs, they're always going on these deep runs. They are avoiding that Super Bowl hangover and finding a way to win no matter what. It is so hard to maintain consistency, but the Chiefs are not only consistent, they are consistently one of the best, if not the best team in the entire NFL, year after year. And there have been changes within the organization, changes with the team, and yet they still always find a way to win. I think about when Tyreek Hill left, and there were a lot of question marks. Hey, they don't have a true number 1 wide receiver. What are they going to do? Because the conversation then was, yes, Mahomes, he's getting all the farms in the world for being a great quarterback. He's got all the talent in the world, but he's also in a great situation. He's got Reid. He has Travis Kelce. He has Tyreek Hill. What happens when you take Tyreek Hill away? And you know what they did the year they lost Tyreek Hill? They won the Super Bowl. With everybody scrambling and questioning where they were going to find a true number 1 wide receiver, they won the Super Bowl. They are persistent even in the face of change. And I think that is so, so incredible. Even when guys individually don't have great seasons. I want to look at Travis Kelce these past couple years because, Travis Kelce is still great. He's one of the better pass catching tight ends in the NFL. He is not in his prime anymore, and that's okay to say. Last year, he didn't reach 1,000 yards. This year, he hasn't been on a great pace either. It's okay to say that Travis Kelce is slowing down. He's 35 years old. That's okay. It happens. Father Time is undefeated. But with that, we do have to acknowledge Travis Kelce is not quite the same tight end he once was. There's moments like in the playoffs where he plays incredible, but overall, you're not getting the complete package each and every game. But in spite of that, the Chiefs still find a way. Patrick Mahomes, over the last couple years, his impact has arguably been the same. His talent is still there for all to see. His counting stats have been down a little bit, and yet they still find a way. Rashee Rice, suspended. They still find a way. This team always manages to be persistent in victory, and I love their way to adapt. I think that's a big factor of it. Let's talk about their defense. Because back when Mahomes first burst onto the scene, 50 touchdowns in his first year really starting, that was incredible. One of the best quarterback seasons we'd ever seen. And for that to be his debut year, not his rookie season, but his debut year, that was very, very impressive. That offense was electric. Him, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. It was unstoppable. And it was that way for a couple years. But then things changed. Tyreek Hill left. They had to adapt. In recent years, Kelce hasn't quite looked the same. They've had to adapt. And this team, now, they have a really good defense to back up their offense. A great linebacker trio, a secondary that you can trust. The ubiquitous impact of Chris Jones. This team always finds a way to adapt. If their offense isn't flowing for one game, their defense probably still is. And I think that's been another big key for them in remaining successful is you don't have to rely on your offense in the game anymore. Every single night, there's going to be times it can be volatile where your offense isn't going to play great. That's just the nature of the game. Defenses, they come in, they game plan specifically to stop your offense. So what do you do when the play breaks down? Well, one, Mahomes is a great improviser, but sometimes that can lead to a risky throw. What happens when that throw turns into turnover? Well, guess what? Your defense, no matter what field position the opposing side gets from that turnover, your defense is stout enough to be able to minimize that impact of that play and still make it a tough time for the opposing offense. So I think that defense has really helped, especially in recent years. This team always finds a way to adapt. They are so persistent. I think that's probably the most impressive thing about this Chiefs dynasty. No matter where they are, no matter how well they start the year, they always find a way to win. You can doubt them, you can believe in them, but destiny arrives all the same, and the Chiefs are going to come out the victors more often than not. Year after year, ever since 2018, they have been in the AFC Championship every single season. And year after year, that's going to take a toll on your body. There's going to be some fatigue there. And yet they never succumb to the Super Bowl hangover. They never let it show how much it may be affecting them, and they always find a way to win. They always find a way to adapt and remain persistent and a great team. They can start 0-2. They're going to get right back up to 500 real quick and do it with a statement victory against the Baltimore Ravens of all teams. And if you want to see how powerful this persistence really is and how hard it can be, let's think about this. The Cincinnati Bengals. This is a team that in the Joe Burrow era has consistently struggled coming out the gate. No matter what year it is, it seems like they just can't get together for the first couple weeks. That has been a mainstay for this team, something that has loomed over the franchise for many years now. I think back to last year, Joe Burrow. He was top 5 in MVP voting. They didn't even make the playoffs. But because of his excellent play, he was in discussions for the most valuable player in the league, and they would have made the playoffs if they continued their pace from the second half of the year. But during that first half of the year, they looked really bad. They could not find a way to win. They had a lot of close games, but they just could not win. And that's been the story for them. No matter how great we know that the Bengals can be, no matter how great we know that they usually are, when the season begins, they struggle. And so, in turn, when that happens, they've immediately dug themselves a hole that they've got to come out of, and they are behind all the other top teams in the AFC. But the Chiefs, they usually don't dig themselves a hole. And when they do, they recover quickly. And I think that's the difference between being the dynasty like the Chiefs are and being a team that everybody knows is good, has the potential to be great, but there's just something holding them back. And that's usually their slow starts. in the Cincinnati Bengals. That is the difference between a dynasty and a good team, a great team and a good team. And I think it really puts on display how special the persistence and the consistency of the Chiefs are or is. The worst they've ever started in the Mahomes era is 2-2. And the last time that happened, they made the AFC Championship. It's just so impressive to me and my favorite aspect of their dynasty. But let's talk about the Chiefs this year. Is there reason to believe that's going to be the same story this time? They might start 2-2, but worst case scenario, we can expect them in the AFC Championship. And ultimately, I can't say that for certain. You know, the NFL, there's so many great teams, especially in the AFC. The Bills, the Ravens, who the Chiefs just beat, even the Chargers within their own division. But yet, based off everything we've seen ever since Mahomes came in there, I have been so impressed by this team. No matter how slow they start, they always find a way to win. So right now, even if they started 0-2, heck, if they started 0-3, I still don't know that I could count them out of the AFC Championship. I think at this point, until somebody has proven that they can beat them on the biggest stage in the playoffs, not Super Bowl, that has been done. But to stop them before the AFC Championship, until it is proven that that can be done, I don't think you can ever count the Chiefs out because they always find a way to win. Year after year, no matter how they look at points, they always find a way. They are so persistent, they are so consistent, and that is the key to this Chiefs dynasty. So, in spite of the 500 start after 4 weeks, in spite of beginning of the year 0-2, losing to the division rival Chargers and a Super Bowl rematch against the Eagles, the Chiefs look like they are back in business and they are rolling once again. They just toppled the Ravens and made a statement against them at that, and now they're back at 500. And last time this happened, they made the AFC Championship. So, until it is proven that they can be beaten before that point, I don't think you can count the Chiefs out, and we may well be seeing them in that position once again.